Good afternoon, ETH Denver, and especially good afternoon to the RandAO community. I'm Allan, and at RandAO, we are solving the on-chain randomness problem once and for all. Before I get started, I do want you guys to answer a quick question. Heads or tails? If you think I'm going to flip heads, go ahead and raise your hands. All right, and tails, who are my tails? All right, about 30% tails, interesting. Let's see. That wasn't a good flip. My flipping is a bit off today. There we go, sorry about that. We got tails. Now, that was interesting. As the coin was in the air, we were all very uncertain of what the outcome would be. And what's also interesting that we weren't able to influence that outcome once we'd flipped. That is the heart of what randomness really is. And at RandAO, if only it were as simple as flipping a coin to generate randomness on-chain. The on-chain randomness problem has really plagued the crypto industry for years at this point. When we first started out, we were trying to use math.random, which really is more like math.pseudo-random, which doesn't quite work in blockchain since it's a public, open, and transparent environment where you could already see the seed on-chain. Next up, a few people tried to use the block hash, which made some sense initially. It sort of starts to make sense as the block hash, it's a hash, and the hash output is typically random. However, when we get down to it, miners have the ability, or validators have the ability to influence that block hash. So that wasn't quite going to work for us. And more recently, the crypto ecosystems come to use oracles as a solution for randomness, which works to some degree. Unfortunately, one, they have high costs for no particular reason, and they're centralized. You actually have to be able to trust that oracle and that they're not going to use their prior knowledge of the randomness beforehand to gain some advantage. At RandAO, we're solving the on-chain randomness problem like no one has ever seen before. We are crowdsourcing random values and aggregating and verifying them on-chain. With our horizontally scaling economic security model, we're able to guarantee that no one in the world will be able to predict or manipulate our random outcomes. Let's find out how we do it. You might think these two are a bit familiar. Here we have Morpheus and Agent Trunk. We're going to run through a few scenarios to understand the security components that exist in RandAO's protocol to generate us high-quality randomness. So first up, both of these individuals, Morpheus and Agent Trunk, will have to post an amount of collateral, which we'll be able to incentivize them with. In a simple solution, Morpheus may just post a random value on-chain. We'd wait a sec, and subsequently, Agent Trunk would post his random value on-chain. With some of the properties of entropy, we're able to effectively say that random plus random equals random, a new random value, that is. Some of you may have noticed that we have to remember here, it's Morpheus and Agent Trunk. Agent Trunk he's malicious. If he sees any opportunity to manipulate or predict the random outcome beforehand, he's going to take it. And once Morpheus has posted his value onto chain, Agent Trunk is able to see that value, and he can change what he's going to post to chain in order to be able to predict the end output, which is not a final solution. How we've solved this problem at RandAO is actually very interesting because we use AO's hyper-parallel capabilities to be able to do it. instead of posting Morpheus's direct random value onto chain, what he'll do is he's going to post a time-locked box. And that box, it has a timer on it. Once the timer expires, the random value within it will be revealed to the entire world. Now, Agent Trunk doesn't quite have an opportunity here, does he? Because he can't see the random value inside the box. And an additional component here is that if he waits too long, if he waits until Morpheus's box has opened itself, then he's going to be severely penalized by that collateral that he posted earlier. So acting in his own best interest and the interest of the protocol, Agent Trunk will have to post his time-locked box on the chain. As this continues, the timers both expire and release both of the random outputs, which then we can aggregate and verify them all on chain. That solution was solid. It would work. It would be secure, and we would be able to have fair random values. But at RandAO, we went a step further. We understood that our users were going to need quick, fast random values, and they weren't going to want to wait for those boxes to open. This is where AO's hyper-parallel capabilities come into play. Since AO has parallel processing abilities, we're able to create a key. That key is a verifiable delay function, which allows us to open the box after the fact, but before the timer, assuming all parties have already posted and committed to their random box. With the values opened on time, we'll be able to generate our new random value just like that. And what's truly amazing about this protocol is that its economic security scales horizontally. As more node runners are added to the crowd, we have additional security per their economic stake in the protocol. And the most amazing piece is that it scales any honestly. That means as long as there's a single honest actor, a single agent, a single Morpheus, and a crowd of Agent Trunks, that we're able to hold economic security. This is unlocking new possibilities across AO for types of applications we couldn't see before. Non-deterministic, decentralized applications. We saw a few of them here today, and I was adding to them in the list earlier, where we have gaming all over AO. Gaming has all sorts of aspects, like critical drops, or critical hits, loot drops, and plenty more. We have artificial intelligence, where Apis Network was able to place AI on chain, but they mentioned themselves that they couldn't have a random component, which they could benefit from. We can have lotteries on chain, raffles on chain, and most recently we've had a few randomized NFT mintings, which is very, very fun. If you want to learn more about the deep cryptography behind RandAO protocol, check out our white paper. And if you want to find out more updates, check out our Twitter. And if you want to run a node or be a developer and use our random values, check out our website. And of course, remember that RandAO RNG is making on-chain randomness as simple as flipping a coin.